Good afternoon, Vivek ji.
कैसे हैं सर?
Good.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. You may proceed with the meeting, sir. The meeting is live. Thank you.
Please, Manoj.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Myself, Manoj Agarwal, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer of your company. I welcome you all to the 47th Annual General Meeting of the company, which is being held through video conferencing pursuant to the SEBI and MCA circulars issued in this regard. Before I hand over the proceedings to the chairman, I would like to specify a few points. The joining to this meeting has been started 30 minutes prior to the AGM time, that is 3:30 p.m. Members are requested to join through laptops and use earphone for better experience, and also to use good bandwidth so that there is no disruption or disturbance during the meeting. Register of directors and KMPs and register of contract and arrangement is available for inspection virtually. Any member desirous of doing so can send an email to secretariat@pcml.com. With this, I now hand over the proceedings to the chair. So the forum is closed.
Thank you, Manoj, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is my second annual general meeting as chairman of your company, and it gives me immense pleasure to extend my hearty and cordial welcome to all of you at the 47th AGM of the company. Trust that you and your near and dear ones are all fine. Since the requisite quorum is present, I hereby call the meeting to order. Let me begin by introducing my colleagues on the board and the senior management who have joined from different locations. So firstly, I'd like to introduce our lead director, Mr. D.K. Mittal.
Namaskar.
So everyone is well aware of Mittal Saab's contribution, ability, and we are very fortunate to have him. So he is the independent director, chairman of Audit Committee, NRC, and Risk Management Committee, and is joining us from Noida. Next is Mr. Krishnava Dutt, independent director, chairman of Stakeholder Relationship Committee, and a very well-known lawyer, famous well-known lawyer. Hi, Krishnava. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Naresh Dayal, chairman of CSR Committee, a very well-known personality of his own times, and he's joining us from Nainital. Veena ji, independent director, and she's joining us from Hong Kong. And Veena ji is joining us from Hong Kong.
Namaskar.
Namaste. We have received invaluable contributions from her and from all of our directors. Mrs. Mamta Banerjee, independent director, joining us from Calcutta. Apologies, Mamta Binani. Apologies. Mr. Praveen Gupta, whole-time director, is joining us from Hyderabad, Uttar Pradesh. And the person who just joined us on the board, Dr. Indu Bhushan, independent director, he is joining us from New Delhi. Mr. Pramod Patwari, our CFO, and Manoj Agarwal, our company secretary, are with me and have joined from our registered office at Calcutta. The representatives of the statutory auditors, as well as the secretarial auditors and the scrutinizers of the company, are also present through the video conferencing. In case of any technical disruption or failure, if I lose connectivity, Mr. D.K. Mittal, our lead independent director, shall take the chair and continue the proceedings of the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice convening this AGM, along with the audited financial statements, Board of Directors report, Auditors report for the financial year 22-23 have been with you. With your permission, I shall take them as read. Right? The auditor's report did not have any qualification, observation, or adverse comments. In terms of Section 145 of the Companies Act, auditor's report is therefore not required to be read out. In terms of Secretarial Standard 2, The qualifications, observation, or comments, other remarks, if any, mentioned in the secretarial audit report issued by your company secretary in practice are required to be read at the meeting. Your directors wish to draw your attention that your company's secretarial audit report did not have any qualification, observation, or adverse comments, and therefore not required to be read out. In compliance with provision of the Companies Act and SEBI listing regulations, your company has extended a remote e-voting facility to its members to transact the business set out in the notice of the AGM. The said remote e-voting facility was available from 16th August 10 a.m. to 18th August 5 p.m. Right? Members who have not cast their votes through the remote e-voting facility and who are present at this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes through e-voting system at the end of the meeting. Messrs. Ambar Ahmad, Company Secretary in Practice, has been appointed as the scrutinizer for scrutinizing the remote e-voting facility as well as the e-voting at this AGM in a fair and transparent manner. The results would be declared after considering the e-voting at the AGM and remote e-voting already done and received. The results will be submitted to the stock exchange within 2 working days from the conclusion of this meeting and would be placed on the website of the company. So, before I begin requesting the shareholders and members for their queries and observation, I'd like to give you a brief outlook as to how things are playing out in the industry. So I will divide this in 2 parts. One is the central government and their focus and their sort of way in handling this business. The other is the state government. So I begin with the central government. They have maintained their policy of the FRP. Let's begin with cost. The FRP is declared by them, and hence what do? They allow you to export sugar which is in surplus of your production. They allow you to divert to ethanol. Allow you means they give you a cost plus method which is very close to market for your products, which is B-heavy molasses and which is juice molasses, which is juice. So whatever syrup is just sugar and B-heavy is loaded with sugar. So whatever you divert or whatever sugar you divert and convert into ethanol, the pricing thereof is determined by the central government. They do this year on year, and I would say that it is a very realistically done pricing, though it may not incentivize additional capacity, but it recognizes the cost of production plus some profit. So our request to central government on this front is that in order to go to E20, and we've seen, I'll just comment on grain a little bit, we've seen grain and FCI rice, etc., being an inconsistent supply base. The only way to go to E20 is to encourage more investment out of juice, for which a report of Grant Thornton and other bodies have been given. The price would need to be increased. So that is the pending portion. The realistic recognition of the pricing is otherwise acknowledged. The second part the government did was to complete this, is to declare an FCI rice price and broken grain, which you buy from the open market. So the government gave millers, and we have one factory which in the off season works on rice. They allowed you to buy FCI rice consequent to a certain amount of tender. That suddenly got stopped in the middle owing to maybe inflation, panic, shortage. It also coincided with the ban in export of rice. And the prices of the other rice, which is the open market rice, went through the roof, rendering it non-viable for operation. So again, we've requested the government here to have a consistent policy. If they will give FCI rice, then they should declare the rate and they should continue to deliver the rice and therefore get the ethanol out of it. Otherwise, they should have a true and fair recognition of the input cost of the open market rice and declare a proper price for that. So we are hoping the government would recognize mostly or all of the recommendations we have just made to them and which I have shared with our dear shareholders. On the sugar front, the government allowed an export of 6 million tons last year. Again, it was very timely, and the entire 6 million has gone. Currently, despite our repeated requests that as and when there is a better visibility of production, which can be post-monsoon, which could be in October, November, December, please recognize what is going to be the perceived production, deduct the consumption out of it, which is 28 million, and allow a portion of that to be exported. So let's just for assumption's sake say, ISMA gave an estimate of 317 lakh tons, consumption being 280 lakh tons, opening stock being what it is, and that would be the closing stock next year because that is neither surplus nor a deficit. Please allow this 37 lakhs to be exported. If not, at least allow a part of that to be exported. This request is lying with the government. Probably it might take a little longer than it did last year. Pramod, when did last year's export get allowed? December. So if we see last year, exports of 6 million tons in one shot was allowed in December. Probably, maybe the government is a little wary of inflation and, inflation of other products, impending elections may take a little more time than we envisage. So that is by and large on the central government side. On the state side, the cane price fixation, and our chief minister, and I've said it openly, he is a man of great understanding, personal wisdom, and deep grassroots knowledge. His emphasis, focus is on improving the yield of the farmer, and that is what he talks to us about. He asks us to increase the yield of the farmer, thereby his income can go up by 35-40%. It does not believe in, year on year increasing cost when revenue is not increasing. So he has been dealing with it very realistically till now, and we hope that that pragmatism should continue. So once I've just completed these two, the basic call is someone who fixes the raw material price is also responsible for the finished product and the revenue side of the balance sheet, which I feel in today's times the government is taking care of. So there might be a little more delays this time in some policies like export, etc. But we do remain hopeful that this policy, having first come into play in 2015 from the central government side, and in 2017, pragmatism from the state government side, we do hope that barring a few months here and there, things should play out the way they have. So that is basically a brief snapshot of how things were and how things look. With this, I now request the members to put forward their observations.
Thank you, sir. We'll be inviting speakers one by one. We request our first speaker, Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf. Mr. Santosh Kumar Saraf, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, please.
Just a minute, I start my video, please. Give me
Yes, sir.
time. Just a minute. श्रीमान सभापति जी, उपस्थित निर्देशक मंडल के सदस्यगण, अधिकारीगण और कर्मचारीगण जो आज वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के थ्रू प्रेजेंट है, मैं संतोष कुमार सराफ आप सभी को नमस्कार करता हूं। आशा करता हूं ये सब आप अच्छे स्वास्थ्य में और सुरक्षित होंगे। सर, मैं सबसे पहले उन कर्मचारियों का आभार प्रकट करना चाहूँगा जिनकी कड़ी मेहनत के कारण आज हमारी कंपनी इतना अच्छा रिजल्ट दे रही है, क्योंकि वो तो प्रेजेंट नहीं रहते, इसलिए मैं उनको यहाँ कर रहा हूँ। आप मेरा मैसेज उनको जरूर पहुँचाने की चेष्टा करिएगा और उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करता इसी तरह मेहनत करते रहे तो 2.5 रुपया डिविडेंड जो है वो अगले साल हमें 5 रुपया या 3.5-4 रुपया मिलेगा। सर, एक तो अर्निंग पर शेयर की इस साल कम हो गई, इसका रीजन क्या बताइएगा। एक सर 6270 टोटल एम्प्लॉय न वर्कर हैं, इसमें परसेंटेज ऑफ फीमेल एम्प्लॉय की क्या बताइएगा, और फीमेल एम्प्लॉय की संख्या बढ़ाने के लिए हमारी कंपनी क्या कदम उठा रही है, इसके बारे में हो तो जरूर बताइएगा। और मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा सर, फीमेल एम्प्लॉय की संख्या बढ़ाइए जे, क्योंकि अगर देश को तीसरी महाशक्ति बनना है तो एक मात्र तो रास्ता है फीमेल को भी एम्पावरमेंट किया जाए, तो चेष्टा करिएगा सर। एक सर, जो टोटल अपना अभी क्रैशिंग जो इंस्टॉलेशन है उसको कितने परसेंटेज से हम अभी यूज कर रहे हैं, क्या फुल परसेंटेज है या कुछ कमती है, बताने की चेष्टा करिएगा। और लास्ट ईयर जो हमारा ईयर गया उसमें जो हमारा जो क्रेन्स बोलते हैं उसको, उसकी कितनी परसेंटेज रियलाइजेशन हुई थी शुगर की, अगर ये फिगर है ये भी बताइए सर। एक सर, मैं ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं कहूँ, आपने इतना अच्छी बैलेंस शीट दी है, ये बैलेंस शीट इतनी अच्छी ट्रांसपेरेंट है, इसमें हर तरह की चीज़ हमें मिलती है। ये है कि पढ़ने की इतनी फुर्सत नहीं मिलती, लेकिन प्रश्न हमको करना पड़ता है सर। तो सर, एक कुछ डिस्प्यूट केस है 2-4 ठो, तो उनको भी देखिए लीगल टीम को, क्योंकि कुछ स्टाम्प ड्यूटी के केस है यूपी गवर्नमेंट के साथ में, तो सेटल हो तो अच्छा होगा कि 91 से पेंडिंग पड़े हुए सर। एक सर, अपने जो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी है, अपने जहाँ क्रैशिंग आदि होती है वहाँ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी जो है वो अभी कितने परसेंटेज यूज हो रही है, क्योंकि अपने कार्बन को कमती करना तो उसके लिए रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी की ज़्यादा यूज करना पड़ेगा सर। एक सर, हमारे जो एम्प्लॉय हैं उनके पास अभी कितनी परसेंटेज फिजिकल होल्डिंग है, तो बताने का करिए कितने एम्प्लॉय जिनको अभी भी फिजिकल होल्डिंग रखे हुए डीमेट नहीं कराए, तो वो क्यों नहीं डीमेट कराए, जब सेबी 2018 से रिमाइंडर दे रहा है, इसके बारे में बताइए। और आप उनको अप्रोच कैसे कर रहे हैं ये भी डिटेल से बताइएगा सर। और मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा कि और भी हमारे ये आएंगे शेयर होल्डर, वो आपसे प्रश्न करेंगे। अतः मैं सिर्फ ये कहूँगा सर, बीसी मीटिंग काफ़ी अच्छी होती है। देखिए, बाहर वाले शेयर होल्डर हम भी अपने घर से अटेंड कर सकते हैं, बरसात का मौसम तब भी कर सकते हैं। जैसे आपने अभी बताया अपने डायरेक्टर का परिचय देते हुए कि आपके डायरेक्टर भी बाहर से अटेंड कर सक रहे हैं, ये फैसिलिटी सर। तो फ्यूचर में इसका ध्यान रखिए, अगर फिजिकल मीटिंग करते बाध्य होके तो उसमें बीसी का ऑप्शन भी रखिए, जिससे जो फिजिकल नहीं आ सके वह बीसी से अटेंड कर सके, चाहे शेयर होल्डर हो चाहे डायरेक्टर हो। और एक बात, जितने आप लोग जितने भी हैं, आपको परिवार को फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023-24 की शुभकामना देता हूँ, और भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ, भगवान फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023 आपकी और आपकी फैमिली के, और जितने भी हमारे कर्मचारी उनकी फैमिली के लिए हेल्दी वेल्दी और प्रॉस्पेरिटी के साथ व्यतीत हो। लास्ट में मैं मॉडरेटर को भी धन्यवाद देता हूँ, काफी अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है, उनको भी धन्यवाद देते हुए अपना वक्तव्य समाप्त करता हूँ। नमस्कार जी।
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, sir, we request you to unmute your audio and proceed, please. No response received. We move on to our next speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta. Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You may proceed.
Yeah, good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Kumar Gupta. I am a equity shareholder of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited. First of all, I thanks to you and the board for the good result of the company for the year 22-23. And I thanks to the CFO for his good contribution for the company. And I thanks to the company secretary and his team to help us to join this meeting through VC. Even that today I have got 2 calls from the company that you join the meeting at time. Sir, interim dividend is good. Try to consider the final dividend from next year. That earlier you were giving the 2 times dividend. So you should consider to pay that dividend to the shareholder. And sir, we can't forget the contribution of Rani Ma. क्योंकि उन्होंने जो है ना, आज जो बलरामपुर चीनी है ना सर, उनका ही कंट्रीब्यूशन है, जो उन्होंने अपना सारा जीवन वहां डिवोट किया एम्प्लॉइज के साथ, वर्कर के साथ, सबके साथ। तो मेरा आपसे एक सजेशन है कि सर उनके नाम पे कोई स्कॉलरशिप चालू की जाए, जिससे कि नीडी बच्चियों को पढ़ाया जा सके, और उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन हम भूल नहीं सके। और सर, आपका एक प्लांट है अयोध्या में, और अयोध्या विल बिकम ए टूरिस्ट हब, more than 80 million people will come every year. So try to bring one guest house in Ayodhya from the Balrampur Chini. And sir, ethanol, now the ethanol demand will boost because the petroleum company will purchase to mix that ethanol in the petroleum for 20%. So what's your view in that regard? And sir, I warm welcome new director, Mr. Indu Hussain, who has served our visionary Prime Minister Dream Project, Ayushman Bharat, and board will get a benefit from his vast experience, and he will support the company because he has contributed to the nation to inspire the peoples about the Ayushman Bharat with a vision. And I thanks to Mr. Mittal, he is in the board, our board. Sir, as per balance sheet, your beloved daughter devoting time in the company, and she helped in some very useful aspect in the interest of the company. So I request you to consider to take her in the board, that she can devote more time and the board company can get benefit from her experience. And I strongly support all the resolutions. I wish to God to give you more success to take the company on new heights. That share price will be in 4 digit when we meet in the 50th AGM in 2027. So that our share price will be in 4 digit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Tapas Kumar Datta. Mr. Tamas Kumar Datta, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir.
Hello.
You're
Hello.
audible,
Am I
sir.
audible?
You're audible, sir. Kindly proceed. Thank you.
Respected Chairman, distinguished Board of Directors, eminent KMPs, and my fellow shareholders visiting this busy meeting, I myself, Tapos Kumar Datta, an equity shareholder of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited, I profoundly express my sincere gratitude to the galaxy of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited for their dedication, exertion, commitment, and consistent endeavor to make Balrampur a diversified conglomerate. My heartfelt indebtedness to our secretarial department for their excellent and remarkable investor services. Sir, a question, page 5. The company what? Loss-making sugar units. Sir, which loss-making sugar units have you acquired? What is your inorganic revenue growth? Page 57. The revenues from sugar and co-generated power are in descending order, and alcohol or ethanol is in ascending order. The statement has not included expenditure and profitability. The inclusion of expenditure and profitability could have been given segment-wise evaluation. At page 138, capital investment on energy conservation equipment, 1812.16 lakhs. What benefit have you derived from this expenditure, from this capital investment? Sir, page 178, attrition rate of permanent workers are increasing. How would you cope with efficiency level? Page 196, work-related injury. What is the magnitude of injury? Page 253, promoters are increasing their stake. How much would you want to increase your stake? Page 287, revenues from customers of company's sugar segment. From one customer of company's sugar segment was 52,945.56 lakhs. May I know, sir, who is that customer? With these few remarks, I would like to conclude. Thank you for patient hearing.
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Ms. Sushma Chanda. Ms. Sushma Chanda, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, please.
I am audible?
You're audible, sir. Kindly proceed. Thank you.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर। सर मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि हमारे प्रॉफिट जो है इस बार 50% रहेगी, जो कि पिछली बार 500 करोड़ शायद करोड़ में ही वैल्यू वो थी, तो अगर वो 500 थे तो इस बार 250 करोड़ रहेंगे। तो और आप लोगों ने अपनी जो सैलरी हाइक भी कर ली 10 से 12%, लेकिन जो एक शेयर होल्डर है सर उसके लिए आप हाइक नहीं करते कुछ भी, क्योंकि हमारा डिविडेंड तो ठीक है, अभी शुक्र है ये हमने कि ये कम नहीं हुआ, नहीं तो ये कम हो जाता है। ये कम नहीं किया आपने, ठीक है, लेकिन हाइक कभी नहीं, हाइक तो किया ही नहीं, मतलब बस ठीक है 2.5 रुपये कंसिस्टेंट चल रहा है हर साल। तो इसको कंसिडर कीजिए सर, हमें भी डिविडेंड या हमें भी कुछ ऐसा मतलब मिलता रहे जो एक्स्ट्रा, जिससे हमें भी लगे कि भाई हाँ कंपनी के साथ हम जुड़े हुए हैं, तो हमारे लिए अच्छा सोच रही है कंपनी। बस इसी बारे में बताइएगा जो भी। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak. Mr. Ashit Kumar Pathak, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir.
Am I audible?
You're audible, sir. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, CFO, Company Secretary, fellow members joining 47th AGM of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited. My name is Ashit Kumar Pathak, joining from Damdam, Kolkata. At first, my esteemed gratitude to our Company Secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, for enhanced cooperation for members joining the AGM. Sir, you have already cleared my all queries. Apart from this, I have some which I like to share. It mentioned total revenue from sugar reduced to 78.50% against 80.68%. Also, distillery also mentioned 21.06%. Sir, my view is that any future plan to enhance distillery and co-generation business than sugar, which is more prospective to my company. Sir, production of ethanol from other ingredients is more cost effective. Sir, also you mentioned in your initial remarks, because cane, because we have 0.96 sugar sacrificed under B-heavy molasses route. If possible, throw some highlights. And sir, my view is that the syrup business is more prospective in future, because it mentioned 1.02 lakh sugar sacrificed financial year 23 for the sugar business. And sir, regarding cost optimization, my company's management team taken for good quality of cane, and also sugarcane production aggregates high labor cost, cane diseases, high borrowing cost, high transaction cost, and record fertile lands. And also climate is changing, and fair remunerative has been fixed to rupees 315 per quintal 2023 against 3.28% higher than previous financial year. Through some highlights, our net export status as on financial year 22-23. Also, Government of India allocated 60 LMT sugar export financial year 22-23. And current financial year, Food and Public Distribution Department is not like to release sugar export quota to sugar mills 2023-24 season to monitor the price rise and meet domestic demand. Sir, we have 10 sugar manufacturing units and 5 distillery and take code generation. Sir, all these are as a smart factory with Industry 4 and present capacity of utilization. If possible, throw some highlights. And also, sir, finally, any expansion plan ethanol in the current financial year, and any takeover plan of stress sugar mills for enhanced capacity to achieve the biofuel E20 for the financial year 2025. Nothing to say more. I pray to God, everybody, to my company for good health and prosperity of my company year to year. Thanking you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee. Mr. Amit Kumar Banerjee, we request you to unmute your audio, Switch on your camera and proceed, sir.
Hello.
You're audible, sir. You may proceed. Thank you.
I'm not visible. What's anyhow? Good afternoon to everyone. Respected chairman of the meeting, other board members present, myself Amit Kumar Banerjee from City of Kolkata. Thank you for getting me connected, an opportunity to speak such a wonderful occasion. It is our 47th annual general meeting of Balrampur Chini Mills Limited. As regards the performance is concerned, as visible in the balance sheet under review, it is good, very nice, good growth, and strong financial presentation. Total revenue is about 4,729.65 crores. Profit after tax stood 275.53 crores. EPA is also 13.51. Yes, dividend is also there, 2.50 rupees 50 paisa on face value of rupees 1. Market price of the shares is also about 390.95. So overall, I appreciate the entire board management team under your leadership, Mr. Bibek Sharogi. Yes, our CFO, Mr. Pramod Patwari, doing good job also, keeping in mind for reducing debt reductions. Our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, well experienced, annual report covered all regulatory matters. And his secretarial team, level best, try to resolve the issue as and when required. I thank all the team management for smooth conducting such a wonderful VC meeting today. Sir, I would like to know about what is the key challenges of the company is facing in context of production of sugar concerning with monsoon period. What is your target plan, vision, mission for next 2 years as far as turnover, profitability, and market capitalizations are concerned? Is there any plan to use maize instead of sugarcane for producing ethanol? Sir, consider planned visit with lunch for attending member. Consider. About green energy, is there any plan to use solar energy for the company's production in need? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Myself, Amit Kumar Banerjee, over to you for further proceedings.
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Jaideep Bakshi. Mr. Jaideep Bakshi, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, please.
Yes, very good afternoon, sir. Shall I on my video?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good afternoon, Chairman, MD, CFO, and Board of Directors. Myself, Jaideep Bakshi, connecting from the city of Kolkata. Thanks to our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, for giving me an opportunity to express my view and presenting a detailed annual report and maintaining investor-friendly relations with the shareholders, and also to the KFinTech team for conducting this video conference in a smooth manner along with the entire secretarial department. Sir, in the initial speech, explained our company's position, and we have maintained a good performance even of these tight situations. So judging from the past experience where weather affected our cane source for two sugar seasons, 21 and 22, thoughts for the cane availability and our cane development program in future. So any new technology upgradations like the AI or the ML
for adapt for new ways of doing things to become more predictable and reduce burden on planet Earth. And stressing on the concern for safety, a vital issue, making our company safer across different operations of productions and different difficult working conditions. Uh, uh, Congrats for a new way of doing these things. Sir, our intensive modernization program for our existing machineries also a good initiative. It will help a better and safer productivity. Sir, regarding the safety matter, also I suggest to put up signage or danglers and stands in the working areas, and also a helpline number so that in case of emergency, people can go reach it out. So payments to farmers where we reduced our credit period from 2 weeks, it's also a good achievement, sir. Sir, our Maizapur unit dedicated completely to manufacturing material in tune with the government's of initiative, also a good move, sir. And we changed our revenue line from sugar to ethanol also. In page 21, expansion of distillery and sugar unit at Balrampur is also noted. So kindly throw more highlights on this. And sir, our total capacity expenditure, capital expenditure for the 6 projects for concurrently at different locations. Kindly throw some light on this. Congrats to Avantika Sarogi madam for your thoughts and new initiatives and development program. So madam, in cane development program through better management and superior fertilizers for enhanced output. In page 25, extensive attention for irrigation and desilting of canals with government for coordination, also a good move from our end. And also it will also for the CSR activities and also for the awards which you received mentioned in page 109. Congrats for them. Sir, in page 28, Manojji has rightly pointed out the environmental cost as a new addition in the books of accounts, banking on the water consumption, ecology, etc. And our priority, not just less consumption, but less groundwater usage and effluent management. This has been rightly pointed out, sir. Sir, also your tree plantation program initiative at Balrampur, I should expect it should be extended to other units also. We should save our green earth to see more smiles in our next generations to come and continue our sustainable program, which we have mentioned in page number 30. Sir, what is our thoughts for putting up solar panel or wind energy to reduce the fuel cost? And sir, our recruiting of women at workplace mentioned also in page 30 is highlights of our women empowerment program. So continue in our growth trajectory with many first mentioned also in page 31. Continue with this and so that we can remain as a leader in the field in our business field, sir. Sir, what are the risk factors do we foresee in the coming years and how we plan to mitigate them? Sir, in page number 40 and 41, there has been glimpses of the Maizapur plant. And do we stand a chance for the attending members of today's AGM to see and the development across the place over there? Nothing to add more. I have full support in the company and hope, sir, under your guidance and the help of board members, our company will come out with much better results in the coming years. And thanks once again for the interim dividend you have passed on to us in the 2.50. Thank you, sir, and all stay safe.
Thank you, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar. Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir. Mr. Tamal Kumar, sir, your video is visible, sir, but you are on mute, sir. Yes, sir. Now you're audible, sir. Please continue.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Sarogi, Mr. Mittal, CFO, Mr. Patwari, and other directors of the company. Myself, Tamal Kumar Majumdar, an equity shareholder from Kolkata. And thank you, Chairman, for sharing your thoughts with us at the meeting. Sir, our lead new initiatives, Avantika Sarogi, must also be complemented for gains made in cane development during the last 3 years. And also for updating Balram app in order to make it farmer friendly, which help the company to achieve better and faster results by connecting to every farmer across the command area. The board should consider her for bigger canvas during the coming months. And sir, as regards Balrampur app 2 is concerned, when it will be launched. So my special thanks to our company secretary, Mr. Manoj Agarwal, and his team for maintaining cordial relationship with shareholders. Mr. Agarwal, though a bit introvert, is one of the best company secretaries of our time. I enjoyed his interview in the annual report on ESG and CSR. We are happy that such a professional company secretary is looking after investor relations here. The annual report of the company is one of the best report I have seen during financial year 23. Due to its presentation, clarity, informative, and investor friendly, and certainly share the dais with Tata Steel, Tata Motors, HDFC Life, and other balance sheets. Entire team management, top management must be complimented for preparation of such an wonderful report. Sir, I have gone through the annual report and have some queries relating to audited accounts, and as usual, seek your indulgence. Sir, during financial year 23, though sugar and distillery contributed 78.5% and 21.06% of revenue, yet segment accounts showed profit excluding interest and other unallocables earned by distillery was higher than profit earned by sugar segment. In Q1 of financial year 24, contribution of distillery increased to 29.36% and sugar contribution decreased to 70.23%. And like financial year 23, distillery earned more profit than sugar. Sir, our CFO, Mr. Patwari, in his interview in page 19 of the annual report, is very bullish on our financials for financial year 24, with 35% projected revenue from distillery, as well as 60% projected increase in profitability from the segment, with less requirement of working capital due to more shift to distillery. Do we believe that remaining part of the year will declare fantastic results with commissioning of Maijapur distillery and Kumbh refinery plant during the end of financial year 23? Please share your thoughts, sir. Sir, do we expect increase in ethanol price during financial year 24 by the government against our realization of 59.53 per BL during financial year 23? Sir, it is noted that the target of mixed 10% ethanol in petrol achieved during June 2022 and E22 petrol blended with 20% of ethanol is selling at 1900 pumps across the country. How do you look at the scenario of government target of blending 5% ethanol in diesel cells by 2030? Please share your thoughts in this regard. Sir, it is noted from page 270 that despite depositing under protest, payment of rupees 20 per quintal of molasses sold or supplied for captive consumption imposed by the UP state excise authorities with effect from 24 December 2021 as a regulatory fee, the company expensed out this expenditure, including that of earlier period in our PL account during financial year 23. What prompted the company management to do this type of accounting during financial year 23? Please share your thoughts, sir. Sir, it is noted that in Q1 of financial year 24, sugar volume increased by 11.9% and realization increased by 3.5% in comparison to corresponding quarter of financial year 23. What is your viewpoint for the remaining part of the year? And sir, during financial year 23, capacity utilization of sugar and distillery segment was 80.1% and 87.4% respectively. What was the situation in Q1 of financial year 23-24 and your expectation for the remaining part of the year? Sir, UP government has not declared state advised price SAP of sugar for financial year 23-24. During financial year 21-22, there was an increase of SAP to the tune of rupees 350 per quintal. Do we expect further increase in SAP during the current year? So, our company sold more bagasse to market than using it for cogeneration due to reduction in tariff by UPERC from April 2019 and exported 31.69 crore units at an average realization of 3.42 per unit. It is also noted that on expiry of PPA, the company started supplying power through open market access at a price of around 5 per unit during Q1 of financial year 24. Whether expiry of PPA will lead to more generation in the coming months, please share your thoughts disclosing the current situation. What is the present status of cogeneration associations petition before the Honorable High Court? Sir, the company management is using loan funds judiciously. As on 31st June 2023, the company has a borrowing of 580.4 crores with an average rate of interest of 5.4% per annum, net of interest subvention, and repaid 105.58 crore during financial year 23, which is really commendable. Whether the company may go for further borrowing during financial year 23-24, and what was the coupon rate for redeemable NCDs issued to HDFC Bank during financial year 23, when it will be redeemed. Sir, you have mentioned in your opening remarks that the government has not declared export quantity of sugar for financial year 24. But in this global market, Indian sugar is at a disadvantage point due to high cost of production. And in order to make it competitive in the international market, the government of India gives subsidies against export of excess stock, which will come to an end during December 2023 in terms of WTO order. Do you believe that Indian sugar will be able to compete in the global market from calendar year 2024 onwards without subsidy support from the government by decreasing production or other costs, or it will go for more use of sugarcane for ethanol production? Want to know your view in this regard, sir. And last 2 points, sir. Our associate Axilio Finsar Private Limited declared excellent results by doubling its income as well as net profit during 2023. And during July 2023, by issuing compulsory convertible preference shares, the said company mop up amount aggregating to 285 crore and balance funding expected by 31st December 2023. Price per share for the issue fixed at 41.53. Price per share for the issue fixed at 41.53 per share, whereas our cost of holding is 10.59 per share. So our investment in each of 175 crore will become nearly 700 crore after the issue. When the conversion of preference shares into equity will take place. And it is also disclosed that after conversion, our company and Elmi Advisors will jointly hold 67.5% of enhanced equity from the current joint holding of 87.86%. Whether both the company may go for further dilution of their stake in the coming months, and whether Auxilio may go for public issue within the next 5 years. And last year, the flood affected cane production as well as our sugar production also. Do we expect El Nino during the current year also? Thank you all for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We invite our next speaker, Mr. Yusuf Yunus Rangwala. Mr. Yusuf Yunus Rangwala, we request you to unmute your audio, switch on your camera and proceed, sir. Sir, though Mr. Yusuf Yunus has joined earlier, he is not available at the moment, sir. We invite Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, we request you to unmute your audio. Mr. Bimal Krishna Sarkar, sir, you may speak, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
You're audible, sir, but very low, sir. We are getting an echo from your side, sir.
I cannot join due to network problem, sir. Very good afternoon. मैं बिमल कृष्ण सरकार इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर ऑफ द कंपनी, मैं मेरा रेसिडेंस कोलकाता से बोल रहा हूँ। बोला मैंने चेयरमैन साहब विवेक सारोगी जी को मैं आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ। सर, इस साल जो रिजल्ट आया है पूरा रिड्यूस हुआ है, और प्रॉफिट भी रिड्यूस हुआ है। इसके बारे में आपने क्लियर प्रेजेंटेशन जो दिया है उसमें आपने सामने क्लियर कर दिया है किस कारण ये हमारा रिजल्ट इस तरीके आया है। सर रिजल्ट कुछ भी हो, सर इस बार आपने डिविडेंड भी डिक्लेयर किया है सर 2.5 रुपीज पर इक्विटी शेयर। सर रिजल्ट खराब होने के नाते भी आपने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया, इसलिए पूरा टीम को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। सर ये जो आपने एनुअल रिपोर्ट को छापा है सर, बहुत कलरफुल है और इंफॉर्मेटिव है। पूरा ये सारे चीज को आप अच्छी तरह रखा है, इसलिए सर धन्यवाद देता हूँ सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट को। सर मेरा क्वेश्चन क्या करेंगे, मेरा प्रीवियस स्पीकर जो है लगता है मुझे सारे सवाल बता दिया है, इसलिए मैं ज्यादा क्वेश्चन नहीं करूंगा। सर पेज नंबर 348 नोट नंबर 30 से फाइनेंस कॉस्ट जो है, फाइनेंस कॉस्ट सर इसमें सर इंटरेस्ट हम लोगों को देना पड़ रहा है कंपनी को लॉन्ग टर्म बोरोइंग में, ये इंक्रीज हुआ है और शॉर्ट टर्म जो बोरोइंग्स है उसमें भी बहुत बढ़ गया है। इस साल देना पड़ा है 3,145 लास्ट ईयर ये था 1,595.84। सर सर क्यों सर ज्यादा हम लोग को इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ रहा है, इसके बारे में भले बताइएगा। और लॉन्ग टर्म जो बोरोइंग है इसमें भी क्यों इंटरेस्ट बढ़ रहा है, क्या बात है? ये हम लोग को ऋण कम होना चाहिए, हर साल ये लॉन्ग टर्म में कम होता जाना चाहिए, हम लोग को इंक्रीज हो रहा है। सर CSR कमेटी को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ सर, उन्होंने एज पर सेक्शन 135 सब सेक्शन 5 हमारा कंपनी का ऑब्लिगेशन था 1047.42 लाख, मतलब हमारा जो कमिटी ने ये ज्यादा ही एक्सपेंड किया है सर 1194.74 लाख। सर एक्सेस स्पेंड किया है 147.32 लाख। सर बहुत अच्छी बात है, हमारा CSR कमेटी को जो मोटिव है, जो इंटेंशन है, जो ये है, ये बहुत अच्छी है, इसलिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। सर मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट भी है, एक सजेशन भी आप बोल सकते हैं सर। विजुअल डिजिबल और स्पेशली एबल्ड पर्सन, जो लोग अंध है, जो लोग देख नहीं पाते हैं, जो लोग विकलांग है, इन लोगों के लिए सर थ्रू CSR एक्टिविटीज कुछ करे, ये हमारा रिक्वेस्ट है सर। सब इसके बाद मैंने हमारा कंपनी आदरणीय कंपनी सेक्रेटरी मनोज अग्रवाल जी को बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ, उन्होंने बहुत कोऑपरेट करते हैं, उन्होंने एनुअल रिपोर्ट वगैरह सारे चीज बहुत पहले ही भेज दिया है, ऊपर टेलीफोन कंफर्म कर दिया है, हमारा पोजीशन क्या है स्पीकर नंबर 2। मैं उनको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और हम लोग शेयर होल्डर के साथ उन्होंने जिस तरीके से रिलेशन रखते हैं, इसलिए धन्यवाद देना ही पड़ेगा। और सर और मैं हमारा चेयरमैन साहब विवेक सारावगी जी, आप सुस्त रहिए, आप क्यों, आपका पूरा टीम, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी मनोज अग्रवाल जी, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट में जितना है और कंपनी का जितना एम्प्लॉय है, उपस्थित शेयर होल्डर सर सब सुस्त रहे, ये ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूँ। सर मेरे को बोलने का जो मौका दिया गया है, इसलिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और पूरा सपोर्ट है सर, हमारा पूरा विश्वास है विवेक सारावगी जी आपका पूरा टीम के ऊपर, हमारा कंपनी अगला साल और अच्छा रिजल्ट करेगा और हमको अच्छा डिविडेंड मिलता रहेगा। सर मेरे को बोलने का मौका दिया गया है, इसलिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir. So with this, we have completed all the speakers. We have joined the meeting and we have given them an opportunity to speak, sir. Handing it back to the boardroom, sir. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank the members for their questions, interest, and involvement. And let me, I think I did it last year also, deeply appreciate our shareholders for respecting the management team, and our directors. So this is, it goes a long way, and I think हमारे डायरेक्टर और हम लोग सब इस बात के लिए आपके आभारी हैं. Right. So there were questions about current year's prospects versus last year's working. As you are aware कि हमारा सारा का सारा रॉ मटेरियल गन्ना है. लास्ट ईयर हमारी क्रशिंग आ गई थी 8 करोड़ 78 लाख, 8 करोड़ 88 लाख. इस साल हम लोगों ने, जो साल बीत गया और जो फैक्ट्रियां अप्रैल मई में बंद हुई, इस साल हमने 10 करोड़ 30 लाख गन्ना पेरा है. और हम ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि नेक्स्ट ईयर वी शुड बी एबल टू क्रश 10% मोर. So with this growth in cane, 15% odd from last year to this year, maybe 10% more, the prospects naturally improve because your fixed cost gets divided, you have more material for making ethanol, more bagasse, power, etc. So अपनी कंपनी के लिए आगे का रास्ता I think मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है based on our cane availability which has come out of a lot of hard work. We have handled disease, करने पे questions थे. We have dealt with disease, variety, waterlogging, desilting. We have dealt with each and every single problem. We have a very nice central cane team which is handling all issues, including, research, new varieties, etc., etc. तो आपकी कंपनी गन्ने पे जी जान से लगी है एंड हम सोचते हैं कि not only shall we improve in quantum, but hopefully also improve in recovery as the weather conditions till now, which we are sitting on 19th August, is perfect. The impact of flood last year was felt owing to incessant rain in the month of October, which is really harmful. We hope and El Nino prediction, the way it's turning out and the way it is predicted, we hope not to have any impact of the flood depending on the predictions. The rest is in the hands of God or the weather gods. So people were worried on the EPS. This is the reason. There were some suggestions on female employees. We are actively working on, keeping female employees in our head office. I think some of the quantum has gone up. And we are also seeing various areas where female employees can be kept in factories, being in, remote locations in UP. We are hoping to almost get to 95% capacity utilization plus in the next year. Sugar realizations, as I've given you the macro, the closing stock will be about 60 lakh tons, and the realization remains firm. And it is about, how much higher is it last year?
So for the last year, it was 36 rupees.
Till now, first quarter.
For the year gone by, FY23, it was 36.
36, which hope for a much better figure this year. First quarter average was
36.85.
36.85. So first quarter average was 36.85. Last year full year's average was 36. And at present, we are selling at a much better price. On the renewable energy, carbon credit, whatever is possible, we are working to get any, subsidy or carbon credit which is possible under law. There was a couple of shareholders on the request on raising dividend. As you're aware, this is a decision of the board, but yes, I think the entire board being here, everybody has heard your request and one will definitely look into it. So as one shareholder pointed out, there are a couple of units within our 10 units which are not adding or giving profitability owing to the cane coming from a much larger distance and some operations and recoveries of their units being lower owing to their locational factors. So we have tasked our teams internally to ensure that in a year or 2 years from now, there shall be no loss-making unit in the company. And we are handling each micro goal very, very minutely. There was an appreciation on the safety, and I would like to compliment all our directors who have taken and made safety as one of the primary objectives of the company. And in each of our board meetings, they are pursuing this relentlessly. Safety, environment, etc. There were some questions on, what is the percentage profit when it comes from syrup, B-heavy, and there are some exports. It is all linked. And, one would have to put in capacities which we have in all fronts. We internally decide every year, depending on the macro, on what is to be done and what amount of sacrifice should be made in which product, and ultimately how much of sugar should be made and how much of ethanol should be made. Cane, there was a question of disease yield. So all we can say, disease is much lower than last year. Variety is much better. There was a question on current expansion. The board has already cleared in the month of May, is it? Or April? Or Kumbi expansion was cleared and it is on the way. It would be completed prior to commencement of the crushing season. There is, as somebody pointed out, we have a lot of focus on the environment also, including trees, plantations, etc. We have cost of Pramod, you would take the interest cost, etc. There was a question on regulatory fees. As and when you do not get a clean stay, it is best to expense out. Should you get back the money, you will put it back in revenue. We are agitating all the cases in UP, but not achieved much success so far. The ethanol price is expected to increase as there is evidence in the past. Every year when FRP increases, the same percentage, if FRP is increased by 3%, usually the ethanol price is increased by 3%. So we hope for a equal kind of increase this year also in percentage terms. Cogeneration tariff, yes, the cogeneration tariff is low. In 2019, the fixation was much against our wishes. We did go to court. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts, the case has not been fully heard. Now the time has come for fixation of tariff in 2024, and we are very determined to fight out the case for 2024, very strong and hard. On the cessation of PPA and therefore walking out of the PPA and selling in the open market, as and when the PPA expires, only then does UP allow you to move out. Our two PPAs, one has expired, we've got permission, one is going to expire in the near future. We applied for permission, we should get in. So we, owing to the dismal tariff levels by UP government, we are walking away from the PPA. On Auxilo, yes, we have done a very good capital raise. Capital is the raw material. As is cane to your company, so is capital to a finance company. So it's doing good business. There was a capital raise, somebody correctly pointed out, 40 rupees. There are marquee investors, Tata Capital, ICICI, Exponential. They're very good quality people. Further dilution, etc., that Auxilo's board will decide. So I think these are the major ones and you can address. Now I hand over the floor to Pramod to answer the financial and other queries. Pramod.
Some of the questions relating to accounts has already been answered. I would like to attend few more. Single vendor to whom we have supplied sugar was with respect to the export. Our contract for export was 1.98 lakh metric ton, and the entire quantity of this was exported through this trading house. The reason for high borrowing cost is that we did 1100 to 1200 crores of expansion, and part of that maybe around 600 crores got financed through long-term loan. That was the reason that the long-term interest cost has gone up. In addition to that, the rate of interest on working capital has also gone up. And we have, as you have noted, that we have accelerated the payment to the farmers from 14 days to a 10 days period. That also resulted in increase in working capital utilization. The coupon rate on NCD which we borrowed was around 8.37%. So we will have a call put option at the end of 18 months, that is around September 24th, and we will have the option to repay. That's it. I think.
There's a query on maize. Yeah. We are attempting at as far as currently maize is giving a much lower yield in terms of recovery. All products would be under active vigilance and or scrutiny for whatever opportunity should come up. At present, maize doesn't look viable at the current price declared by the government.
Yep.
So, sir, if any of our directors, sir, if you would like to address the shareholders or any comments from our directors, we'd love to hear.
No, that is fine. Thank you.
That's fine, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So with this, the remote e-voting has already been done on the business set out in the notice of the AGM. Members attending the AGM today who have not cast their vote may do so today on the e-voting platform. You are given 15 minutes time for e-voting. I once again thank you all for participating in the AGM. We are now nearing the end of this meeting. I'd request Mrs. Amber Ahmad, the scrutinizers, to scrutinize the e-voting in a fair and transparent manner. I want to again thank you for your presence and involvement, and I again would like to compliment you for the environment, the love and affection which you have bestowed upon our directors and our management, and above all, our workers. We shall convey your message unequivocally to them. Thank you once again. Right, Manoj?
Yeah, directors can log off, sir. Thank you very much. E-voting platform will be open for 15 minutes.
Thank
and
you.
then the meeting will officially.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you to the board. Thank you, everyone.
Chairman, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.